For TimesOnline.com, Chris Mueller, Chris Bradford bringing you a mandatory minicamp report from the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. The Steelers went through their first practice of 3 this week here. It was raining for half of the portion of practice, so the players ran indoors to their facility, but did get some good work done, Chris. Notable players that were here, one was Alejandro Villanueva, missed his contract disputes. 2 that weren't here, Le'Veon Bell and Stephon Tuitt. Villanueva spoke to us today. What did you take from some of the things that he had to say with us?
Yeah, Villanueva kind of picked up from where we were speaking last week about his contract status. I talked to David DeCastro about, this is exactly what they expect from Alejandro Villanueva, kind of a selfless guy. He has to sign a waiver of liability to come out here and play. He did in OTAs, does it again in minicamp. The more important date for the Steelers is going to be July 27th. That's when the players report to Latrobe. If Villanueva's not signed by then, I think that's when a bigger concern is going to set in here.
And Le'Veon Bell wasn't here today. Now, obviously, he's going through, recovering from his groin injury. But the fact that he wasn't out here with his teammates, kind of being a cheerleader support, just to show his face, kind of says something. And he hasn't signed his franchise tag tender yet. He would be making a little over $12 million if he does that. He has until July 15th to sign it. Until then, though, I think that the action is that he wants to kind of iron out a long-term deal with the Steelers. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, obviously the fact that he's not here today, hasn't been here in OTAs, I think you can sense that maybe that things aren't quite on the same page and that he's trying to force the Steelers' hand, by sitting out this mandatory minicamp. He wouldn't obviously participate because of the groin surgery, and he'd also have to sign off to agree to be out there. Stephon
Tuitt, now Tyson Alualu confirmed to me that he was not here. He wasn't out there. He was last week during OTAs, had a cast on his hand. He's also seeking a long-term deal. But by the way he kind of talked to us last week during OTAs, I think his absence today might be more due to his injury than really kind of trying to send a message.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the message that they were sending a message by not being here. I speaking last week, he did say one thing that was a little bit maybe a little bit foreshadowing. He said, that he spoke of this as being his last season in Pittsburgh. I think he would like to get a deal done, obviously. Maybe I think that's about as far as he's going to take it. I don't necessarily see this as a holdout in the truest sense.
Well, that's all we got here. Be sure to stay with us tomorrow for day 2 of mandatory minicamp.